Hello, everyone. Welcome to Western Washington University for today's admitted student information session. Also, welcome to my living room in beautiful Bellingham, Washington. My name is Robert Stolzberg. I'm an admissions counselor at Western. I work with prospective students all the way from when they're first thinking about applying to college up to the point that they are admitted and enrolled and ready to start classes. So we're going to talk a little bit about that back end of the process. What do you do now that you are an admitted student? I myself am also a graduate of Western Washington University. I graduated in 2014 with a double major in Spanish and linguistics and a minor in teaching English as a second language. I spent a couple of years living in Spain, teaching English as a second language in a Spanish elementary school before I realized that it was time for me to come back a little bit closer to home, and ended up back here in beautiful Bellingham at Western as an admissions counselor. I grew up originally in Fairbanks, Alaska. So if any of you out there are out-of-state students thinking about going to college a little bit further away from home and want to chat about what that experience is like, I'm always happy to talk about that as well. Today, we're going to cover the whole range of experiences and where everyone is at as an admitted student at Western. We've got some folks out there who've been admitted to Western, who have already enrolled, who've confirmed that they're coming to Western in the fall and want to know what happens between now and when classes start in September. And we've got some folks out there who've been admitted to Western and are still trying to figure out what's the right fit for them for college. Is Western where they want to go? So first off, we're going to cover a little bit of basic information about Western, a little bit of background about the university and the community that it is a part of for those students who are still trying to make their final college decision. And then we're going to get into some information about what happens now that you've confirmed and enrolled at Western and what are the next steps to be taking. So we're going to cover a little bit of everything, and I hope that you all find this informative and helpful. So first off, we're going to talk a little bit about where Western is located. We are in beautiful Bellingham, Washington, which anyone who hasn't been there is in the very northwest corner of Washington State. It's a medium-sized city of about 83,000 people. So in my opinion, not too big, not too small. We're about 90 minutes from Seattle, about 45 minutes from Vancouver, Canada. Bellingham in its own right is a really wonderful place to live and a really wonderful community. It is an absolute hub for outdoor activities, everything from backpacking and hiking to trail running, canoeing, kayaking, skiing and snowboarding, rock climbing, and so much more. Tons of great ways to get outdoors in Bellingham. We'll talk about some ways that Western can help connect you to the outdoors community here in Bellingham as well. There's lots of great things to do inside if you're more of an indoor animal. There are lots of great local cafes and shops and boutiques and restaurants, lots of stuff to do, as well as wonderful museums, bookstores, galleries, and local independent movie theaters. So there's always something to do in Bellingham, whether it's a rainy day or a sunny day, whether you like to play outside or inside. It's just a really wonderful, thriving community. Like I mentioned, we're pretty close to a couple of major cities in Seattle and Vancouver. So if you have the big city stuff that you like to do, whether it's going to a ball game or a concert, or a convention or anything that you like to do that takes place in a big city, real easy to get to either one of those as well. Western's campus itself is about a 15-minute walk to downtown Bellingham, or even a little bit shorter, depending on where on campus you happen to be at the time. So lots of stuff going on in Bellingham. I think it's a really nice opportunity to talk about place and talk about location, talk about community when we're talking about college and what's the right fit. Because of course you all are going to be going to college based on what the right academic fit is for you, how you're going to have the type of career that you want to have after college. But college is also a really cool opportunity in terms of place and community, because for most of you, certainly for those of you who are just graduating high school and venturing out on your own for the first time, college is very often the first time that a student gets to decide where they want to live, what kind of community they want to be a part of. So I always really encourage students to think about that piece as well as, the academic fit. And like I said, Bellingham is a really wonderful place to make a home. I've been in Bellingham for close to 10 years now. And it really is a great home and a wonderful place to be. So for those of you who hasn't been visited yet, that's a little bit of information about Bellingham itself. Now let's get to the college side of things. Let's get to academics. We have at Western 175 different academic programs to choose from. As you can see, spread across the 7 different colleges that make up Western Washington University. You can also see listed below there some of our most popular majors, but I would say number one most popular major for new incoming students is undecided. So if you are coming to Western, maybe you're 18 years old and you're saying, hey, Robert, I don't really know what I want to do with the rest of my life. Is that okay? That is definitely okay. You're in very good company if that's the case. We give you lots of opportunity here at Western to try out different programs, try out different subject areas, be making positive forward progress towards graduation while still trying new things and figuring out what is the perfect major for you. Or maybe you're the type of student who's known since you were in the first grade that you're going to be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, and you know exactly what you want to major in at Western. You can come into Western as a first-year student and get started on your path towards that major right away. A couple of general things academically that I like to talk about as well. Certainly I can't go into detail about all 175 majors in the time that we have here together, but there are some generalities that, range across all of our different academic programs that I like to touch on. One really important distinction about Western is that we are a teaching first university. So all of our professors do engage in research as part of being a professor at Western, but their number one priority is to their students, is to teaching their classes, is to being there as a resource for you. 99% of our classes at Western are taught by professors rather than graduate teaching assistants, and they're all required to be available to you in their office hours outside of class time as well. And because we're a teaching first institution, that means that when a professor takes a job here at Western, when they seek out Western as a place to do their teaching and to be a professor, that means that they are looking for somewhere where teaching is a priority and where being there for students is a priority. So that really helps you have a wonderful academic experience here at Western. Another distinction about Western that I think is important to talk about is that we are a medium-sized undergraduate university. Over 90% of our students are undergraduates. That's the real big focus here at Western. And so the fact that the majority of our students are undergrads, right, are those students who are earning their bachelor's degree, earning that first college degree. That means that a lot of the opportunities outside of the classroom that are available to you in terms of doing things like lab work and research and field work and working closely with professors in a meaningful way, those opportunities are very available for you as an undergraduate, as a new college student, because we don't have a large body of graduate students who are taking those opportunities first. You're going to get to come in here at Western, have a great experience in the classroom, but also really get to apply what you're doing in the classroom in a meaningful way outside of the classroom. One of the big differences between academics in high school and academics in college is that in high school, you're in class for about 30 hours a week. In college, it's about half that. The average student at Western has 15 hours of class a week. So certainly a lot of that time that you spend not in the classroom is going to be spent on things like writing and reading and studying and doing homework and group projects. But a big part of that time academically is also going to be spent on, like I mentioned, those meaningful hands-on opportunities outside of the classroom. So whether you're looking to go to graduate school, maybe you want to go to medical school, start your own business, make a lot of money on Wall Street, whatever the thing is that you want to do after your time at Western, after your time in college, we're going to give you opportunities to help you be very prepared to do so. So that's a little bit about academics. Now I want to move things outside of the classroom because, like I mentioned, you aren't in the classroom in college for as many hours a week as you are in high school. And so on top of all those academic things that take place outside of the classroom, a big part of the college experience is student life and community. So I love to talk about that and how that looks at Western. Western is a little bit different than a lot of the medium and large universities in Washington and in this general region in that we don't have a Greek system. There are no fraternities or sororities at Western. So one of the big areas that sort of student life is organized and the student social scene is organized at Western is through our over 250 different student-run clubs. And that's everything from serious academic clubs like pre-med student club, pre-vet club, Spanish club, things like that take the classroom experience outside of the classroom, to really activity-based clubs like skiing and snowboarding club, longboarding club, mountain biking club, right? Taking advantage of those great outdoor opportunities in Bellingham, to just general special interest clubs, things like Tea and Cookies Club and Board Game Club. One of the newest clubs here at Western is an archery club. So whether you have something that you're passionate about that you want to bring to the Western community, or something new that you've always wanted to try and never had the opportunity to do, a big part of how the social scene looks at Western is through these different clubs, through these different activities, through these different interests. So I really encourage everyone to take a look at that and find a way to get involved. Certainly lots of other resources outside of the classroom at Western as well. Things like the Counseling Center, the Career Services Center. So if you're looking for that job after college, if you're looking for that perfect summer internship, we will help you get there. We have a tutoring center to make sure that everything is going right for you academically. We also have a specific math tutoring center and a specific writing and research tutoring center. So a lot of resources, a lot of help available for you as a student at Western, and then some fun resources as well. I certainly touched on the outdoor opportunities. We have a great outdoor center at Western. So whether it's something that you're already involved in, or maybe you've never been rock climbing before, or you've never been kayaking before, never been camping before, there are opportunities to join group excursions, to rent gear at a very reduced price, and to get into the outdoors for the first time. We also have a boathouse that's about 4 or 5 miles away from Western's campus, where you can rent a sailboat or a kayak and get out on the water as well. So lots of great things to get up to outside of the classroom at Western. That's certainly a big part of the college experience for many students. I encourage you all to learn more and get involved. So that's been a little bit of general information about Western. What does student life look like? What do academics look like? And why might Western be a good fit for you in terms of your university? Now we're going to transition a little bit into what happens when you've enrolled in Western, when you've decided that yes, Western is the university for me. What do you have to do between now and when classes start in September? So first step is going to be to finalize your decision for any of you who've not already done so. That just means that you are accepting your offer of enrollment at Western. There's a $280 enrollment confirmation fee to secure your spot at Western. And then boom, you're a Viking. The deadline to confirm your enrollment is June 1st. So depending when you're watching this, that may still be coming up. So definitely just an important time to keep in mind. Next thing that you can get to do is to get to know us better. Anyone watching this has actually already started doing that just by being here. So good on you for being on top of things. You can also join our new student Facebook page, WWU New Students 2020, to connect with some of your future classmates. And any of you who maybe don't use Facebook, maybe that's more of your parents' thing. A lot of things in college, especially in terms of clubs and groups and events and things like that, do still get organized through Facebook. So it can be a good idea to jump on there. You don't necessarily have to add your parents as friends, but it's a good way to stay in the know of what's going on at Western and what opportunities are out there. And then definitely also keep your eye on the mail for any information that we're sending out as well. And an important point that I actually don't have listed on the slide here is once you enroll at Western, you have access to your WWU email address. I strongly encourage you to get in the habit of checking that daily. Whatever your internet routine is, whatever sites, whatever social media you're checking on the daily, maybe just your regular Gmail address, add checking your WWU email to that daily internet routine as well, because a lot of official communications are going to be coming from Western to that Western Washington University email address. So really encourage you to get in the habit of doing that. Next thing to do between now and when classes start is planning your finances, which moves us towards financial aid. Financial aid packages get sent out to students on a rolling basis, and they're coming out through the month of May, so there's a good chance that you've already gotten yours. If you haven't already gotten yours, is definitely on the way. You can always contact the financial aid office as well to get a little bit better of an idea of what you might expect. Similarly, scholarship notices are coming out through the month of May as well. You are automatically considered for scholarships just by applying to Western. So many of you may have received notice that you are receiving a scholarship that you didn't even know you were eligible for, that you didn't even know you were a candidate for. And then in terms of when you actually have to pay for things and what that looks like in terms of planning your budget, tuition, fees, housing, meals, all that stuff is due on the first day of the quarter. So the first day of fall quarter, first day of winter quarter, first day of spring quarter is when you will be paying that. Speaking of housing, speaking of meals, next thing that you're going to do to plan for what's going to happen when classes start in the fall is to find a new home. At Western, living on campus is not a requirement for first-year students or for anyone else. That being said, we do strongly recommend it, and over 90% of first-year students do choose to take that option of living on campus. It is a really good way to transition to a college environment, to kind of have a middle step between living at home with your family and being on your own for the first time. And you definitely can't beat the location of being on campus, being right there by the dining halls, in the library, in the rec center, and where your classes are taking place. Also a great way to get connected socially. As you can see there on the slide, the application for housing opened on February 1st. is running through June 1st. So there's still time to apply for housing there. You can check out Western Washington University residence halls online in terms of things like floor plans, pictures, and information about the different style of residence halls. And then one last piece to finding that new home, to getting into a residence hall, is connecting with potential roommates. Whether it's you have a best friend who you're coming to college with, who you're planning to live with, you can totally do that. If you aren't bringing your best friend to college with you, you can get connected with a roommate through Western's My Roommate search tool. You can browse, different folks that you might be able to room with. You can also fill out a short survey and have Western assign you a roommate. The survey will just ask you things like, when do you like to go to bed? When do you like to get up in the morning? How social do you want the room to be? How quiet and studious do you want the room to be? And we'll assign you someone who is a good fit. Even if you are bringing your best friend to college, maybe living together isn't the best idea. Maybe you guys aren't compatible as roommates and you can choose one of the other options as well. Point being, those options are all out there and they're available for you for whatever the best fit is. Next step to prepare for college in the fall is preparing for orientation and registration. Probably the number one question that I'm getting from prospective students, from admitted students at this time of year, is when do I sign up for classes? How do I sign up for classes? How do I know which classes to sign up for? So the way that works is you will have a new student orientation. I mentioned keeping an eye on that Western email address. This is one of the important reasons to do so. New Student Services and Family Outreach host orientations for new students before classes start in the fall. So you get a general orientation to Western, information about stuff you might be interested in on campus, course registration, academic advising. I think those last two pieces, the academic advising and the course registration, are the real things that students get excited about for these orientation sessions. All of our fall 2020 new student orientations are going to be held online. More information will be available shortly on the New Student Services and Family Outreach website, as well as, like I said, continuing to keep an eye on your official Western email address. Essentially, the sequence of how that works is at your new student orientation, you will have the opportunity to do a virtual academic advising session. And then only after that will you actually register for your classes. So you're not going to have to go in cold with no information, having to register for your college classes for the first time. We're here to help. We've got experts here to help you. We'll make sure that you know what classes make sense for you to take based on your academic interest. So keep an eye out for that. Similar situation for you new transfer students who might be watching. Our transfer student orientation sessions are called transitions. Once again, different sessions for our academic programs, course registration, academic advising, that sort of thing. Keep an eye on the website, New Student Services and Family Outreach, as well as your Western email address for more information coming soon. Finally, one last step for you between now and when classes start on the fall is just to celebrate and enjoy the moment and appreciate your accomplishment. I want to offer a very sincere congratulations to everyone out there, whether you're just graduating high school, whether you're just finishing community college, transferring from another university or something else. It's a really great accomplishment being admitted to Western. Certainly whether this is your senior year of high school, your last year of community college, things did not necessarily go according to plan with everything that's going on in the world right now. And you persevered through that. You made it to the next step. You made it to Western. Like I said, a very heartfelt, very sincere congratulations from me and all of us in the admissions office at Western. I do hope that you have the opportunity to celebrate and enjoy and appreciate this time and appreciate your accomplishment with your friends and family. So congratulations on being admitted. I hope that you have the opportunity, like I said, to enjoy this moment and enjoy this accomplishment. For those of you who are still deciding if Western is the right fit for you or not, I've got a few reasons here, why Western might be a nice place for you to go to college. I mentioned the undergraduate focus and the teaching first focus. That's going to give you a really strong academic experience. It's going to give you access to great professors and a lot of opportunities outside of the classroom that contribute to that academic excellence and the quality of education that you will receive here as a student at Western. There's the wonderful community, both of Bellingham and of Western, as a university and as a community within the community of Bellingham, the different clubs and opportunities and things that you can get involved in, as well as the people and the professors and the resources around you. And like I mentioned, the location, Bellingham, really wonderful place to live, lots of indoor opportunities, lots of outdoor opportunities, lots of ways to get connected to a big city or a smaller community, and much, much more. What that much, much more will be for you individually, you're going to have to wait and find out. Last thing that I want to leave you all with is, you've been through the admissions process, you've been admitted, a lot of you have confirmed and enrolled at Western. That does not mean that you are done with the admissions office. Any questions whatsoever that you all have, whether it's why Western might be a good fit for you as a university, whether it's what's coming up between now and when classes start in the fall, or anything else, please do be in touch with us. Please feel free to reach out and connect with us. We're here to help you. We're here to help answer your questions. We're here to help you make a smooth transition to college this fall. So once again, please be in touch with any questions that you may have. And thank you for joining me today for this admitted student information session. Go Vikings!